Dude, is that your phone?
You have a new message.
The next speaker, Chen Zizhuo.
Max Chen.
Hey Max, why did you come to America? For those of you who don't really know me, my name is Zizhuo Chen. I go by Max because I got this name from my first English teacher when I was 4. And of course, it makes things a lot easier. I'm an international student from Guangzhou, China, and I spent the first 15 years of my life there. So why did I come to America? Every time I hear this question, I stutter. I'm not sure. There's too much, or perhaps too little, to talk about. Time after time, I started answering this question with one word, education, or 2 words, mostly education. This answer may sound easy, but the 2 simple words conceal a very complicated process that I went through before deciding to come here. I had such a hard time making the decision, weighing costs and benefits again and again. So the first time I saw senior speech as a visitor, I decided that I was going to answer this question on my day, if I ever got it. And now here I am. But before I go straight into answering the question, I want to start with a story that strikes a deep chord in me. An American investment banker was on a pier in a Mexican village where a fisherman was stocking his small boat. The banker complimented the fisherman on his tuna and asked why he didn't stay out longer to catch more. The fisherman said he had enough to support his family's immediate needs. The banker then asked, "But what do you do with the rest of your time?" The fisherman said, "I sleep late, fish a little, play with my kids, take siestas with my wife, stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine, and play guitar with my amigos. I have a full and busy life." The banker scoffed, "I'm a Harvard MBA, and I could help you. You should spend more time fishing and buy a bigger boat. With a bigger yield, buy several boats, and then a whole fleet. Instead of selling your catch to a middleman, you could sell directly to the processor, eventually opening your own cannery. Of course, you will need to leave the village and move to Mexico City and then New York, where you will run your expanding enterprise. It only takes 15 to 20 years. And then what?" asked the fisherman. The banker laughed and said, "That's the best part. When the time is right, you will announce an IPO and sell your company stock to the public and make millions. You will retire and move to a small coastal fishing village where you will sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, take siestas with your wife, stroll to the village in the evenings where you could sip wine and play your guitar with your amigos. Isn't that exactly what I'm doing right now?" Whether this story is real or not, I am blown away by the fisherman's words. 3 years ago, I started to live an unsettled life. I took a 17-hour flight to the other side of the world. I left my parents, my friends, my girlfriend, my comfort zone. I've gone to 3 different high schools in the past 3 years. It's true that I had always wanted to come to America. I wanted to pursue the best education in the world so that I could get a good job, earn a good amount of money, support my family and parents, pursue my life goal of traveling around the world, and then settle in a peaceful place to enjoy my last years. But if my goal was eventually to settle down to a cozy sort of life, what was wrong with my life at home? Wasn't it already everything I wanted? The voices of the banker and the fisherman are arguing constantly in my mind. The banker tells me that I have made the right choice, but the fisherman keeps questioning my decision. Did I choose the right path? Is America really a good place for me? I try to reassure myself with my mom's claim. all we're doing is making an investment in you, son. Separation today means a happier reunion tomorrow. But the fisherman in me asks, when could I ever repay so many gifts? And why reunion? Why the pain of separation? The banker replies, there's no endless feast. Challenges make you grow up, and if you grow up, you can support your loved ones. As an adult, I will have to assume responsibility for my future family. I need and want to mature so that I can be supportive of my loving parents and girlfriend and provide them with a comfortable future. But how can I be sure that moving to another country will help me support them? What if it only takes me away from their lives? It makes it harder for me to understand their cares and dreams. Because you want to be a champion, the banker continues. Yes, I want to make my mark on the world. I came to the world with nothing and will leave the world empty-handed. If I achieve something that people remember, my existence will have value. And I won't be able to achieve it if I never bleed and sweat. But what if my ambition is a burden on the people I love? What if, when I chase my dreams, I lose contact with my roots or even with my soul? What if I return home, only to learn that home is no longer mine? Eventually, I chose to spread my wings, and I tried hard to fight off those concerns. On the day of my first departure, a couple of good friends of mine came to the airport and wished me farewell and good luck. Before I went through the customs, we huddled in a circle with arms around each other, just like what other people were doing. Nobody knew what to say, and the instant I tried to say something, tears filled my eyes. I tried to refrain as usual, but this time I could not. I realized something in that moment, a lot of things. My parents were really going to have an empty nest. Long-distance relationship is really happening. Those good old days were really going away, and my tear control system was really failing that night. I still keep asking myself if I've made the right decision, and I still can't tell. I'm forging a new path in America, just like most of your ancestors did, and I'll never know if it's the right path until it comes to an end. But I am committed to working hard at this path, and I'm doing pretty well so far. Transferring to SPA was the first big step, and the second step, college, is just in a few months. I could never achieve these things on my own, so now I want to thank a few people. Thank you, Kirk and Sue, my host dad and mom when I was in International School of Minnesota. Thank you for caring for me like your second son. Thank you, aunt and uncle, for suggesting me the transition and supporting me in everything over the past 3 years. Thank you, all my teachers, for empowering me with knowledge and life lessons. Thank you, friends, for making me feel welcome at SBA. And now I want to turn to the camera and say a few words to the people on the other side of the world. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I know you guys don't know much about English. Well, I can get a video later and add some translations at the bottom. Thank you for caring and supporting me all the time. I can hardly put my gratitude into the words of any language. Thank you, my other relatives and friends of my mom and dad, for caring and helping me in some way or another. Thank you, my old friends, for occasionally making me laugh until my stomach ached. And thank you, Annie, for always being there. Thank you all for always being my motivation. I couldn't have done it without all of the support that I've received. It's been difficult, but one thing that I've realized throughout this journey is that we only live once, so try hard. Thank you.